Hello, my name is Marilyn Tournay, and I am very happy to hear that you are considering the purchase of our laboratory notebook titled Quantitative and Qualitative Laboratory Experiments for General Chemistry Students. There are many reasons why I love this lab notebook, some of which you might already be aware of. For example, the first being its price. The fact that you can get a laboratory notebook for General Chemistry 1 and General Chemistry 2 for under $80 and be able to include a lab apron and safety goggles within the purchase price is quite a value. One of the things that you might not be aware of is that this laboratory notebook comes equipped with a complete list of material safety data sheet and URLs, basically web links, to every piece of equipment and every reagent that is utilized within every single experiment. And this is right at your fingertips, included in the instructor CD. So that means if you run out of a particular reagent or do not have a specific equipment needed for the experiment, instead of wasting your time looking through catalogs or sifting through the internet worrying whether or not you have the right piece of equipment, all you have to do is go to the instructor CD and click on the particular link needed, and it will take you immediately to the retailer that sells the particular item. In addition to the MSDS sheets, as well as the equipment, materials, and reagents being just a click away, there's one more advantage I would like to point out. This advantage might not seem like a big deal, but I can guarantee it will make a huge difference for the students and some instructors alike. At the end of each experiment, there's a section titled Further Reading, and this is basically a list of references the students can utilize to find additional information and or literature that could help better prepare them even before they arrive into the laboratory. This list of chemical education literature pertaining to the particular experiment is an invaluable tool in concept building for the students and just a handy resource for the instructor. This lab notebook is truly one of the best deals I have ever encountered. Thank you, and happy experimenting.
I'm going to talk about the pre-labs as well as the experiments and then the post-labs, how these three have been tied together to expose the students to modern techniques as well as methods, and then to make the students develop their critical thinking ability. One unique thing about the pre-labs are that they are developed in such a way that when the students are able to complete them, they tie into the experiments themselves. So when they come into the experimental process, they will not spend much time. They would have understood what the experiment is all about, and that will translate to them being able to answer the post-lab questions that follows after the experiment. So all the pre-labs and then the experiment as well as the post-labs is making up one loop. And as we said, we are trying to train chemists that will be integrative enough to be able to tackle the numerous problems that we have. So the book has actually been designed in that form. And you can see that from the pre-labs, as well as the experiments, as well as the post-labs questions that have been asked for the students to complete. Basically, we have the introductory part that is introducing the students to the concepts of chemistry and how to handle chemical data. So at that level, it's not actually difficult. But as we go towards the second part of the book, then the difficulty starts to come in. That is where they would have more than 1 year chemistry. So they are now moving into the difficult aspect of chemistry. So the difficult part of the book is it increases as you go to the second part of the course for the GChem, and that's the second level where they would have been exposed to other higher level chemistry concepts where they need to experiment that in the lab.
My name is Albert Russell, and I want to talk about the modular nature of the lab manual. The manual is set up such that you're able to tailor it to your curriculum. We're able to, because of the way the lab manual is published, we're actually able to incorporate experiments that you want to include. If you decide you want to include a particular experiment on a particular topic, if that's brought to the attention of a publisher, that experiment can be included in the lab manual. So it's quite modular in its nature. There's no impediment to changing the lab manual to meet the needs of your curriculum. And we all know as STEM professors, and especially as chemistry professors, that the curriculum can change, from university to university. So there's no problem uh, modifying the lab manual to meet your needs. One of the other parts that I want to emphasize is the price of the lab manual. It was already emphasized before, and I want to emphasize it again that the price of the lab manual is highly economical. To bundle safety equipment along with the lab manual for the price of $80 is quite remarkable. In closing, I think that you'll be highly satisfied with this laboratory manual. Your students will benefit greatly from using it, from the language of the manual. They will learn, the technical terminology that they need. Not only will the students benefit greatly from uh, learning the jargon and the language of chemistry, but they'll become more proficient scientists. The experiments really emphasize accuracy. The experiments really emphasize attention to detail. The experiments form basically a closed loop so that the pre-lab and the post-lab tie into the experiment. Students also become more proficient at precision measurements based on some of the exercises that are in the lab manual. Overall, it's really a wonderful manual, and the students will become better scientists and better chemists as a result of using it.